Thank you, President Faust. Thank you for your unwavering support of our law school, and thank you for all that you've done over the past 11 years to make us one Harvard, to make this university intellectually livelier, more entrepreneurial, more inclusive, and even more exceptional than it was. That was a very tall order, and you've done splendidly, and we're very, very grateful. So thank you. I also want to acknowledge and thank my dear friends and predecessors, Dean Clark, Dean I guess now we're supposed to call her Justice Kagan. And my dear friend, Dean Minow. All of them did amazing work to make a great law school even better. And let me say a special thanks to Dean Minow, Professor Lazarus, Nancy Baccia, and all of the members of the Bicentennial Committee and the Bicentennial staff for planning a truly splendid bicentennial celebration. So thanks to all of you. Now, I want to say something at the outset, which is I am acutely aware of the fact that I am all that is standing between you and the Chief Justice of the United States and 5 other alumni who also happen to be Supreme Court justices. So I will be brief. I'm just going to take a moment here to talk about the alma mater. Now, I don't like to brag, but I do love this law school. And if there's ever a moment when it's okay to wear the crimson pride, this is it, on our bicentennial, our 200th birthday. In fact, in a funny way, I think it's especially important to indulge that impulse in this crowd, because if you've been associated with Harvard Law School long enough, it's very easy to take for granted just how exceptional this place is. So perhaps you've noticed that we have here in the audience 6 Supreme Court justices who graduated from the Harvard Law School. What you may not know is that more than 1 in every 6 people who ever sat on the Supreme Court attended Harvard Law School. And that includes some folks named Holmes and Brandeis and Frankfurter. Now add to that roughly 1 out of every 8 attorneys general and about 1 in 7 solicitors general. And remember, for that about the first 100 years, these folks didn't even go to law school. And so that number is even more impressive. And then throw in for good measure countless cabinet officers, senators, representatives, governors, mayors, diplomats, judges on state and federal courts. And you may want to remember also a couple of presidents and a first lady. And that's just the United States. Add to them the heads of state, ministers of justice, judges, legislators throughout the entire world. And then there are the great innovators here and around the globe in private practice, public interest, entrepreneurship, finance, tech, nonprofits, education, and even the arts. Our alumni are leaders in area after area, field after field, year after year, and now we can say century after century. And then don't forget the many ways in which this law school has contributed to the sum total of human knowledge. don't forget the very, very big ideas that have been generated here. If you count for our graduates and our faculty, Harvard has played a pioneering role in little things like the idea of judicial restraint, the field of federal courts, the legal process movement, critical legal studies, even modern textualism. That was not supposed to be a laugh line. What's so cool about all of this is that if you step back, you'll quickly see that Harvard lawyers are often the leading voice on all sides of the important issues that the society and the world face. This is true, by the way, in scholarly debates, in judicial debates, and sometimes even in presidential debates. If you just think about this century alone, our graduates have been on the tickets of not only the Democratic and Republican parties, but also the Green Party. And if you're willing to count vice presidential nominees, and I think we should, the Libertarian Party too. You really just gotta love it, right? So how do you explain all this? So one possibility is this. Maybe because of the history and tradition of this place, our students, our faculty, and our staff feel that sense of mission. I know that our students come here with very high expectations of themselves. They're ambitious in the very best sense. It's in the air as soon as they get here. They want to do something big and important with their lives. So they think deeper, they read more, they stretch themselves, they take risks. They just plain work harder. On any given Saturday night, you will still see the reading room in Langdell full of our students. Our students want to change the world. They want to pursue the best ideals of law and of justice. And that's what they do. Okay, here's maybe a second factor. Harvard has done something really improbable. For many, many, many years, it has been able to be very grand in scope, truly excellent, and really diverse along many, many dimensions. As Dean Kagan used to say, I think to the chagrin of Bostonians, Harvard is the New York City of law schools. A lot of New Yorkers here today, okay. And it's true. If you come here, you'll find every subject, approach, methodology, ideology, and perspective. You are sure to find really smart, really committed people who disagree with you, who look at the world differently from you, and who challenge your assumptions about everything. Our entire profession is based on the idea that hearing all sides, that confronting the very best arguments against you will make you a better lawyer and will bring us all closer to truth and knowledge and understanding. And for that reason, there is no better place on earth than Harvard Law School to learn to be a great lawyer and a great leader. Now I promised to be brief, and so I'll close here, and I want to close on a personal note. The reason I love Harvard Law School, really love it, is I bet the same reason that many of you do. I was the first in my immediate family to graduate from college. and the first to go to law school. And Harvard Law School has enabled me to live dreams that neither my parents, nor their parents, nor theirs ever could even have imagined. And that is something very special that this law school does for our students year in and year out, generation after generation. And it is our job, our obligation, our duty in the next century to make sure that that continues. May it always be so.